Hello everyone, welcome to today's podcast episode. I am on my way back from midwifery. Our little gathering this weekend was so soul-filling and just puts me right back on track to diving deep into myself. And I think that's something that I've been really loving about the program that I'm a part of, because the foundation of this program is for us to really get to know ourselves and create a really firm but open, sure of but expansive relationship with ourselves, with the spiritual realm, with each other. And we're just always doing the deepening. We're always doing the harder work and allowing the spiral to kind of just take us deeper into ourselves, into birth work, and all of the learning and the teaching that comes when we're together. And it's honestly just so healing to be around a group of such amazing women that love each other, care for each other, and want the same, outcomes for our maternal health care system in the United States. So it's always an amazing time, but this month has been such a pivotal experience. I'm kind of in a place right now where a lot of changes are happening. It's early April, and I just hit a year at my corporate job. And I'm not sure if any of you are working corporate or if most of you are in doula work or some kind of birth work niche. But if you've ever worked a corporate job, you definitely may know the feeling of just like not having the brain capacity to follow other loves and passions in your life, because for some reason it's just difficult. Like being in a corporate job, especially in a remote setting, is hard when, if you're like me, you enjoy being around people. You're more filled up when you're with people. And that's how I am. I'm really somebody that feeds off of other people's energy. I feel more alive when I leave somewhere with people that I relate to and get along with really well. And I feel like I'm really missing that in this role. But on the flip side, remote work is so awesome because sometimes it's super flexible, especially if you have children and somebody's sick and they need to stay home. Like that may be able to work out. There's so many other reasons why there's a pro to being remote, and I've really been able to be grateful for this position over the last year. But I think right now something is changing within me, and what's happening in the company I work for is we're kind of downsizing. So I've been given the heads up that we're downsizing, and there's kind of changes that are happening every single day. And not that I've been stressing over this, but I've been thinking a lot about it. And the conclusion that I've come to this weekend is that this downsizing may just be such a huge opportunity for me to dive back deep into something that I'm really passionate about, and something that can provide a stable income and provide potentially some flexibility with having children. And it is a form of doula work, so you may be knowing what I'm about to say right now, but I am on the edge of starting back into postpartum doula work. And this decision solidified this weekend. I'm still kind of working out the details of how this is happening, but there's such a big part of me that is like, of course I'm going back into postpartum work, because over the last couple years, I have, ever since Miles' birth, really, which is almost 2 years ago, I took a step out of doula work. And what I told myself was, I'm not going to go back into the hospital system. However, postpartum work is always there for me. And when the time is right, when Miles is old enough, maybe I'll go back into postpartum work. And it's always just kind of been there. And I've always kind of been reflecting on the time and when and where and with who. But now this opportunity has come along. Sorry, a big truck is passing. This big opportunity is coming along, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here it is. Here's the opportunity that I have been waiting for. I've been waiting for an opening in my life where I'm like, yes, this makes sense. And it really hasn't until this point, because I've experienced a year of remote corporate work. And for me at that time that I stepped into it and had the opportunity to start that, I was all for it, and I have been. over this past year, and I probably still would be if they weren't downsizing. But now that I'm given this permission to look for another job and figure that out, I'm really trying to get clear on what I'm actually looking for at this stage of my life. And I think what I'm really craving is human connection and feeling that purpose being lived out. And my purpose has not really been able to be lived out to its maximum potential, because sometimes our purpose isn't in a career. Sometimes it's in a line of work or a certain niche that we're not really supposed to be making so much income from. It's just something that we're able to spread awareness on, and maybe we can make it as a solo or stream of income rather, but sometimes not. And lucky enough, I feel like when we do have this passion for birth work, we can usually piece some things together that creates a really solid career path. And usually it's multiple streams of income. And so my brain is kind of trying to wrap my mind around feeling secure with this decision and trying to, put all of the logical pieces together. But at the end of the day, I can take a step back and know, just based off of how midwifery is unfolding, how the things that I've loved have all unfolded, I just need to kind of put the dream into the air, into the energy field, into God's hands, and allow for whatever is supposed to unfold. And just like that, there are things that are coming together, and I will definitely talk more and share more on that in the future when I kind of know more of the logistics. But as of now, I am leaving the corporate world to go into postpartum work. How this is going to happen, when this is going to happen, it's up for debate. We don't know. But what I do know is that my heart is there. I feel the calling, and I just know that would be more aligning with what my body, mind, and soul needs. And of course, that other part is stability. The factor of this work is that it's client-based, it's service work, and so it's sometimes not the most stable income. But I am putting my trust into this process and allowing for the opportunities to come in. And I think in doing that, I'll be able to have a more clear idea of how my income will be stabilized. And, let's put quotation marks around that, because I had a corporate job and we're downsizing, so I'm losing my job. And this goes back to one of the episodes I just put out. What really is stability? Does it even exist? No, it doesn't. It does not exist. So why am I going to act in a moment of fear that it does? And so that's kind of the question that I've been asking myself. I'm trying to get really clear on my inner beliefs, and maybe something that I would tell my daughter, or something that I would tell myself as a child. You don't have to live your life any certain way just because you're scared. You can have room to experiment, allow yourself to go down different paths and feel out different things, and what you need will always come. And that's always the advice that my mother gives me, and that's the advice that I'm going to give myself right now, because this is such an inner experience. I'm not wanting to share this out loud yet with people, but I did want to talk about it, and I did want to share it here, because by the time I put this up, I will have already left my job and would be on this new track to re-entering birth work. And I am so stoked, because what does this mean? This means more YouTube videos. It means me getting more aligned with that motherly side of me that, for my children, yes, of course, I'm always tuning into that motherly side, but there's something that's so fulfilling with bringing herbs and food and support over to a new mother that fills me up enormously. And I'm really excited to be able to offer that and just get more into feeling and experiencing life again, just in a brighter way than what this last year has really felt like to me. I think that there's a time and a place for everything. Like, there's points in our lives where we really need to, like, hone in, get ourselves financially stable, get the car, get the house or the apartment, get the things that we need, and kind of put our nose to the ground and just do it. And then I think there's other times in life where we really need to look at our situation and be like, is this benefiting me, body, mind, and soul? Is this really doing the best for me? Because when I take a step back, it's like, yes, the financial piece is always nice to be able to have secured. But what about the other areas of my life? The creativity, the mom that comes home at the end of the day, or rather is already home at the end of the day when I bring my kids back from school. Like, who is she? Is she more alive? Is she more awakened? Is she okay at the end of the day? And if the answer is no, then it's time for something to change. And I'm kind of feeling like I'm at that brink, because I'm not somebody that wants to climb the corporate ladder and have, you know, the job where you're at the top and just kind of like have all of these things in a row. But at the end of the day, I'm coming home and I'm like a shell of myself. Like, that's not me. I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for my kids especially. So the happiest Taylor, looking back, was a time in my life where I had more freedom in my schedule. I had more freedom that I could kind of give or take away as far as childcare. I didn't have to be working a 9 to 5 in which I lost the whole day to work. I was studying birth work. I was in postpartum work. I was able to go to some places that were really interesting, meet some women that were amazing, and that ended up teaching me so much about postpartum. And I was just so much more free. And I realized it's because I had more control over how and when I was making money. And for me, that just sometimes is better. But of course not always. And so I'm just kind of feeling into that notion of like, we're not always the same and needing the same things. I think that if I were to have started postpartum work again 6 months ago, it probably wouldn't have been the right time. But now that the doors are opening and the people are coming through and my mind is allowing, I will be able to create something new again, and it will flourish if it is the right time. And if it doesn't, then we pivot and we go another route. So I'm just extremely excited to be at this decision. I'm excited to be bringing you guys some more content again and getting more into filming. I've really missed that piece of my life so much. If you've been here since I started making videos, you know that I used to pump out videos a lot more frequently than now. This is the best I can do usually, because I'm like always in the car getting the kids or working or doing something that just feels basically like a rat race, and I don't want to live that way anymore. So I'm just trying to find peace, that the divine is moving parts and opening doors and closing the necessary doors to keep me going in the highest direction for my life and for my children's lives. And this is just where I'm finding myself right now. So I'm very excited about this announcement. And of course, if there's any postpartum content that you want to come soon, please feel free to let me know. I will be in the postpartum doula role, doing all of the things like breastfeeding support and making meals, meal prepping, lactation cookies, herbal tinctures, and all of the things. So please let me know if you want to see anything specific about me re-entering this work. And yeah, I am over the moon, truly. So thank you for listening, and I will be back very soon with just some more information on what this is looking like for me. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and take care. Bye bye.